welcome back. Welcome back to the award-winning the award-winning Letters and Layers podcast. As always, this is your girl, your host, Amaka, and this podcast is all things mental health, wellness, life lessons, books, personal insights, streams of consciousness, and everything in between. So happy to be back. As you might have inferred from what I just said, the Letters and Layers podcast won its category for the Black Podcasting Awards, Best Personal Development Podcast. I am over the moon. I am super grateful. I did not even let my mind get to the point of winning. First off, I want to say, if you hear barking in the background, I am so sorry. There's not much I can do. I am trying to, kind of minimize it as much as I can, but I'm just hoping this dog starts barking. Anyway, yes, I was hoping for a nomination, but once I got it, I was like, oh, okay, I'm good. Like, I've met my goal. This is what I wanted. Just a nomination alone is a big deal. So honestly, I did not let my mind go to a win. Although, if you don't believe in yourself, how will other people believe in you? So I always have believed, even in moments when maybe I was struggling with this podcast, other moments where I, felt really good about it, I would be like, this content is award winning. Like, I would say that for myself. I would speak those words in, as far as this podcast goes. This is an award winning podcast. This is an award winning podcast. It's award winning to me. Even if it never won an actual award, by an external entity, I have to believe in it enough to call it award winning. So, I have done that for a long time. I've never really said it, but you have to keep yourself going. So I'm like, I can't stop. I believe this is award winning content. And here we are, 4 years in. Our first award. And I say yes, first. It is the first award because it won't be the only one. It won't be the only one. I'm so thankful to the Black Podcasting Awards for nominating and awarding this podcast in its category. It means the world to me. It offers me a sense of validation that I can't even lie, feels really good. I've said it time and time again on this podcast that you really have to be your own cheerleader. You can't depend so much on external support, to keep yourself going. You really have to know your why. You have to know why you continue to do this. Along the way, really close friends and family have listened and supported, which means a lot, and over time I have built a small audience that continues to grow slowly but intentionally. So this is one of my greatest accomplishments this year, and I will be forever grateful. So just wanted to highlight that quickly. Thank you again to the Black Podcasting Awards. Thank you so much. How was my weekend? My weekend was good. I had to do some reframing on myself this weekend because I had a busy Saturday. I had a brunch Saturday, mid-morning, and then I was invited to a Halloween party in the evening. And I was thinking about how kind of coming off of the work week, sometimes you're just looking forward to an uneventful weekend, not really having anything planned. And the weekend before that, I was also pretty busy. I think I had mentioned maybe that I was going to see The Lion King on Broadway, and I went to see Kev on stage. This was one day after another with the same group of friends. So that was the weekend before last. And then this weekend also had plans. A friend of mine who lives in Springfield, Missouri, drove up with her new boyfriend, and she wanted me to meet him. So we had lunch together. And then a few hours later, I was set to go to a Halloween party that I was invited to early last month. So realizing kind of earlier on that both of these things were scheduled for the same day, I was like, oh, wow, it's going to be a long day. But I really had to reframe. And I was like, girl, honestly, you in this moment are being ungrateful for what this means. Because there was a time in my life where I feel like I really didn't have substantial friendships. I feel like they were more superficial. It was hard to kind of dig deeper and make them feel more meaningful. I rarely would ever get invited, to things or have people call me and tell me, I'm in town, I want to see you. Like, especially I'm thinking back to my mid-20s when I lived in DC. Like, I was very friendly and cordial with my coworkers at my job at that time, because we were all honestly around the same age. So we related, with a lot of things. We would go out to happy hours. We had a good time. But honestly, beyond my coworkers, during that time in my life, I did not have many friends, had kind of lost touch with any that I had in college. I had like one or two. And, high school, nobody. I think maybe one person I would talk to every so often. But I really didn't feel in that place in my life like I had like a handful of solid friendships, because I'm not asking to be Miss Congeniality or Miss Popularity. Like, I just wanted a handful of solid friends. But now I'm in a place in my life where people remember me. They want to see me. They're inviting me out. They're coming from out of town and making plans with me. Like, I sometimes default to my place of comfort. My place of comfort is my homebody personality, not wanting to leave the house, just be curled up in my bed, especially after a work week, kind of sleep in and not really have to be up and at 'em or doing anything, kind of taking things slow. But this Saturday, I had to be on a little bit of a schedule because we had a time for brunch and then the party was later. So I remember feeling myself kind of falling into my, wanting to be comfortable situation. And I had to kind of snap myself out of it. I was like, girl, this life you're living right now is the life you wish you had when you were younger. You have friends that think of events and they think of you and they invite you. You have people that come from out of town, major things are happening in their life and they want you involved. My good friend wanted me to meet her boyfriend because they're getting serious. We had a great brunch. It was great conversation. He was a great guy. I had a great time. And then, even after me, who was complaining that it was a long day, I didn't even go home right away after brunch. I went to West Loop and I did some walking around. I went to the bookstore. I bought a book, and then I eventually went home and took a nap. And then a couple hours later, I got ready again and went to a donut shop to pick up some treats for the Halloween party. And I made my way. And that was really fun too. The host of the party just bought a house with her partner. So it was like a Halloween housewarming situation. I got to meet, some other people. I got to reconnect with my friend and see her again. And she was very happy that I came. And it was good vibes. So I really enjoyed myself on Saturday. It was busy, I wasn't in bed. But I think this sentiment has been more prominent as of late, especially within the millennial and Gen Z cohorts, generations, because the pandemic, I think, was a big reason why folks just were so isolated, and especially Gen Z kind of coming up during that time were not able to realize the importance of community. So I hear a lot about how they struggle to make and maintain friends. And I had to kind of remind myself that if you want to have and keep friendships, you can't be lazy. You can't be lazy about it. You have to get up, you have to go out, you don't have to, like, you can invite people over, but at the end of it, I'm just saying that time and energy needs to be devoted to maintaining solid, valuable friendships. And it just so happened that two good friends wanted to do something with me on the same day. Thankfully, it did not conflict in terms of scheduling. One was in the morning, one was in the evening. But I just had to remind myself that this is not a bad thing by any means. It's not like I'm sick. It's not like I can't go. I'm just thinking more about how it'll make my day particularly busier, maybe a little inconvenient, but that's the sacrifice for having good friendships in your life. So I just wanted to share that because, sometimes you just forget. Sometimes you forget that what you're living in is what you had hoped for so long. Sorry about the dog, guys. He is going crazy right now. Sometimes you forget that the life you're living in the moment is the life that you have prayed for. Sometimes you forget that the friendships, the family, the experiences, the life transitions that you're going through are the things that you hoped and prayed for a really long time, and are things that you have put so much effort into having it be a reality for you. And it's a reality for me. And I had to kind of remind myself that. So I just wanted to share. I'm happy that I was able to reframe that for myself. And I didn't really need anybody to tell me. Because then my attitude changed right away. I was like, okay, today's a good day. It's not an inconvenient day. It's not a long day. It's a busy day, sure, but not in a bad way. It's a busy day, and honestly, the best way possible. So, yeah. One more thing I wanted to talk about on the podcast is kind of a PSA, but I feel strongly enough to mention it. Drink your water, guys. Drink your water. Water is super, super important. I know how I feel when I'm not on top of my water and when I'm on top of my water. When I'm drinking my water regularly, I have more energy. I am more motivated. I sleep better. What else? Those are the big things. I know there are some times where I am slumping at my desk, I'm not sitting up straight, and then I'll take several gulps of water and I almost naturally start to sit up. It's like I liken our bodies to plants sometimes, because people are so chronically dehydrated and they're wondering what the problem is. And it could very well be something else or something serious. But if you're struggling with fatigue, if you're struggling with mental fog, if you're struggling with motivation, if you're struggling with bowel movements, if you're struggling with, general malaise, lack of energy, depression, I'm not saying water is the cure-all, But more water, if you're not drinking enough, and you know if you're not drinking enough, more water will do you more good than harm. I don't even know if it'll do any harm. The only drawback I would say is that you probably have to go to the bathroom more. So, don't go from 0 ounces to 100 ounces a day. I talk about incremental progress. If you know you only get 8 ounces or 1 cup of water a day, double it. Go to 2 and then go from 2 to 4. And then maybe go to 4 to 6 and then 6 to 8. Or if you want to go based on ounces and maybe you don't drink any water. What I try to do as many days as I can is start my day with water. Many people wake up without even thinking about it. They'll just drink their coffee. And sure, coffee has water in it, but it's not water. I, try to start my day with a 30-ounce mason jar of water off the bat. Sometimes with some lemon slices, sometimes with some cucumber slices. What I do is, when I remember, is fill my mason jar with water and have it ready in the morning. So I'm not thinking about it. Sometimes I put it on my little nightstand by the bed. So as I'm waking up, I'm chugging. Or, maybe I don't get to my water right away, but I don't allow myself to drink anything else until I drink water. And not just a couple sips, a sizable amount. It's usually like the 30-ish ounce mason jar. That's the first thing that I'll drink. I don't tend to drink much else beyond water because I have spent years at this point cultivating this habit to the point where I feel like when I feel dehydrated, it really affects me. I don't drink soda much. I'm a fan of soy milk, so I'll drink that if I'm having cereal or if I have to take like vitamins or whatever. I do like sparkling water, so I do have that because sometimes you just like the carbonation. But water is my default, and I'm by no means, I'm not putting anybody down or wagging my finger, but I care about this stuff, and sometimes you just need a reminder. I think about how, like, when I water my plants, especially if it's gone a couple of days and they start to kind of look a little sad, I will give them water and they start to, look happy again. And it just reminds me of when, like, maybe I haven't gotten adequate water in a couple of days and I feel like I'm kind of hunched over, especially if I'm working at the desk, and if I remember and I drink water, I literally start like naturally sitting up and I feel my energy start to go up and I just feel better. My brain feels clearer. I feel like I can, do what I'm doing with more gusto maybe and less dread. So I just wanted to share that. Water is super important. Water helps flush our system out. Water helps our bowel movements because we don't talk enough about that. And yeah, that's all I wanted to say. So I think I'm going to end the episode here. I want to thank you guys so much, as always, for listening. Thank you again to the Black Podcasting Awards for awarding the Letters and Layers podcast with Best Personal Development Podcast of 2025. Please reach out to me, contact@thelettersandlayers.com, share with anyone who will enjoy this episode or past episodes. Rate and review on your preferred listening platform. Give your girl 5 stars. We are worth it. Thank you guys again. I appreciate you listening. And I will talk to you in the next episode. Bye.